You suffer when you trust God, and you also suffer when you don't trust God. Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Rose via Fire. And I pray this message reaches who it needs to reach. So let's talk about you suffer when you trust God, and you also suffer when you don't trust God. You know what I'm saying? So let's just talk about this right here, bro. This is something that God was revealing to me, bro. Like, you suffer either way, bro. So you might as well just trust God, bro. You gonna suffer either way, bro. You gotta understand, bro. Like, when you trust God, there's gonna be pain and suffering that comes with you trusting God. And when you don't trust God, there's gonna be pain and suffering that comes with you not trusting God. And that's something I realized, bro. You suffer when you trust God, and you also suffer when you don't trust God, bro. You know, there's pain in either both sides, bro. There's pain in both sides. So you might as well trust God. Because think about it. What sense does it make to not trust God if you're still going to suffer and go through pain? Because that's just how life is, bro. You know what I'm saying? We go through different, we pretty much go through different pain and different suffering in life. And by you not trusting God, it don't mean that you're not going to go through stuff. You know what I'm saying? You not trusting God does not spare you from going through stuff, does not spare you from going through pain. Because people may be like, oh, trusting God is hard or something like that, right? But even when you don't trust God, you're going to suffer either way. You're going to go through stuff either way. You're going to go through the pain of life. You're going to go through stuff anyways. So, bro, you either going through the pain of trusting God, or you're going through the pain of not trusting God. Either way, you're going through pain. Either way, you're suffering. So you might as well trust God. You know what I'm saying? You might as well trust God, bro, because either way, you're going to suffer. And I'm not saying this like, as like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this like, oh, you're going to suffer. I'm not wishing suffering on anybody, bro. But that's just life, how life is, bro. We're going to go through stuff. We're going to go through pain, bro. That's just how life is, bro. We go through stuff. So you mean to tell me, okay, you don't want to trust God. So you think like you ain't going to go through stuff? You still going to go through stuff. So you might as well trust God anyway. It's like, bro, you see that perspective, bro? A lot of times we feel like if I don't trust God, bro, life going to become easier. No, bro, you still going to go through other stuff. You still going to suffer other stuff, bro. You still going to go through other pains of life. Life is not easy. So it's like, bro, you suffer when you trust God, and you also suffer when you don't trust God, bro. So it doesn't make sense to not trust God if you're going to suffer either way. I'm telling you, bro, the power of perspective. Perspective will change your mind, bro. Some people may be like, man, it's so hard to trust God, bro. It's so hard to trust God, bro. I'm like, bro, you're going to suffer either way. So you mean like, okay, you're not going to trust God. So you think you're not going to suffer because you're not trusting God, bro? You still going to suffer either way. You might as well trust God, bro. And that's something I realized about life. It's the same, it's almost the same principle to whereas people be like, oh, I'm scared to speak up. I'm scared to speak the truth. I'm scared to step into God's calling for my life. God is calling me to speak truth. God is calling me to do videos and speak the truth. You know what I'm saying? God is calling certain people to speak up and to do videos and to speak the truth, right? Let's say God is calling somebody to do that. You know what I'm saying? Just do videos, speak the truth, and pretty much like do what they gotta do. Step into their calling, right? And they gonna be scared to do that. They're gonna be scared to speak up. They're gonna be scared to step into their calling and do those videos that God is telling them to do. But look though, just because you're scared to do it, it don't mean you're not gonna suffer. So what are you scared of? You're scared of the suffering. You're scared of the people gonna judge you. You're scared of people gonna look at you like, you're scared people gonna look at you. You're scared people gonna judge you. You're scared of being on camera, bro. You're scared of this. But you're gonna suffer either way. If you don't trust God, you're going to suffer either way. Because look, though, sometimes when you don't even trust God, you suffer more because God is going to punish you for disobeying. For disobeying. So when you don't trust God because you're scared of the suffering, there's suffering on the other side of the fence too, bro. Do you see what I'm trying to say, bro? So it's like, bro, you might as well trust God because what else is there to do? Nothing. You gonna suffer either way, bro. Bro, you gonna suffer either way, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Why not trust God? If you knowing you're gonna suffer when you trust God, you're gonna suffer when you don't trust God. But there's pain to life either way. And that's the situation right there with that, bro. That principle right there, it applies to so many things in life, bro. People be thinking like, oh, let me run from this thing, bro, because I don't want to suffer. There's always suffering on the other side of the fence too. Look, you scared to speak up because you think people gonna judge you. People gonna judge you even when you're quiet. People gonna hate you even when you're silent and saying nothing. There's gonna be somebody who still hates you, bruh. So you scared to speak up and put out the truth and speak the gospel and really like do what God called you to do and lead souls to heaven and help others help other people to step into their calling for God. You scared to do that. You scared to, you know what I'm saying, work for God and really do all these things that God called you to do. But look though, people are gonna hate you even when you don't speak up. People are gonna hate you even when you're quiet. Some people may just hate how you look. Some people may just hate you for no reason. So they're gonna hate you either way. They're gonna hate you whether you speak up or whether you don't speak up. They're gonna hate you whether you're quiet or whether you're not quiet. Know what I'm saying? You're gonna suffer whether you trust God or whether you choose not to trust God. So it don't even matter. You might as well do what God called you to do. You might as well do what God called you to do because there is no escape. You're going to suffer either way on both sides. It don't matter. Trusting God is not easy. It comes with a lot of suffering and pain when you trust God. It comes with all types, bro. Trusting God, bro, you go through all types of nightmares when you trust in God. But when you don't trust God, you also go through other stuff. You might as well trust God, right? I'm telling you, bro, when you really have perspective, it changes everything, bro. You know what I'm saying? And bro, God wanted me to do this message for the people out there who just scared, bro. You suffer either way, bro. You might as well trust God, bro. People scared to have faith in God, bro. People scared to take a risk into God's kingdom. People scared to step into their calling for God, bro. They purpose for God, bro. You suffer either way. You might as well step into God's calling for your life. You might as well take the risk and follow God, bro. You might as well do what God called you to do because you suffer either way. And look, though, don't even get me started about this. Don't even get me started about the afterlife now. Oh, yeah, because bro, if you keep disobeying God, bro, you're gonna be suffering even more in hell, bro. You're going to be suffering even more in hell, bro. So you suffer either way. You might as well do the right thing. Because there's suffering on both sides of the fence. Think of it like there's a fence. There's a fence right here. There's suffering when you trust God. There's suffering when you don't trust God. That's just how life is, bro. Why is life like that? I don't know why life is like that, bro. It just is what it is, bro. Life is what it is. So you might as well trust God, man. Peace.